If you are anything like me, you've probably scrolled TikTok and seen influencers like this one trying to sell their wares on TikTok Shop. TikTok has basically become QVC for Gen Z, but that's a completely different topic. Let's move on. Normally when I'm watching these videos, I just skip past them because they don't hold any kind of interest to me. They're not normally selling things that I'd be interested in. However, this video caught my eye.
5 things you can do on your £100 Geobook 110. First, play a little classic Minecraft on your Geobook. Second, do some work on Microsoft Office 365, which is included free for a year and worth up to £59 on its own. Third, maybe play online with Roblox. Fourth, why not watch a classic film on your Geobook 110? And finally, catch up with your favourite socials.
Yes, that is a £73 laptop notebook. It is the Geobook 110. I watched this video a couple of times and it really got me thinking, who is this device actually for? With those specs and this price point, who's actually buying one of the crap? So yes, this is the Geobook 110 and today we're going to be putting it through its paces, finding out exactly what it can do and potentially who it is for as well. So without further ado, let's jump into it and take a look at the unboxing experience because there's a couple of interesting points to note here. Okay, so here we are with the Geobook 110 box. We can see it's got the 11-inch screen there, but perhaps more interestingly is this sticker in the bottom corner. Remember, this device costs just £73. However, this includes a 12-month membership to Office 365 Personal, which is worth roughly, I think it says here, $59.99. You've also got a copy of Windows 11 Home here as well, which adds up to a lot more than the £73 I paid. So just software alone, you're getting your money's worth. It's almost like you're just paying for that software and this hardware is coming for free. Taking a look at the back of the box, again it shows you a little bit of the Office 365 stuff there. It's a real big selling point for this device. It is manufactured or designed in the UK. I'm not sure that's something that you should really shout from the rooftops about Geo because this is probably not going to be a great device. 11.6 inch display at around 720p resolution. That Intel Celeron processor, 4GB of RAM and the eMMC storage as well. But let's go ahead and take a look at what we get in the box. Flipping it over, opening it up, first thing we see is of course a quick start guide. You really don't need this, but it does show off that how you would charge it, as well as the touchpad being multi-touch, which is nice. Obviously the laptop itself, we'll drop it out of the way for the moment, and we do get a barrel charger in the bottom here. I've actually never seen a barrel charger this thin before, but hey, if it works, it works. So let's take a quick tour of the device. We obviously do get two USB 3.0 ports, which is nice to see. We get a mini HDMI. I really don't like this connector. If you know me, you know this. It breaks far too easily. It's just a small connector, it's awful, but it's at least there if you want to connect up to an external display. There is a 3.5mm headphone jack, and there is of course a micro SD card expansion slot. So if you don't want to use the cloud storage that comes with this or the included 64GB of eMMC memory, then you do have an option to at least expand it. Looking at the body of this, it's that kind of weird rubbery texture. It's a soft plastic rubber which just degrades over time. I think as a kid we all had devices that were like this. They were nice feeling at first, but after a couple of weeks of touching and using, it just becomes a sticky, rubbery mess. It's awful. I don't know why they chose this finish for the device. It's also pretty flimsy. Like, I can really bend this chassis and you can see it creaking and cracking as I do so. There's basically no build integrity here whatsoever. So if you're going to be giving this to a kid, then they're probably going to break it pretty quickly. If we flip the device over, then we can see that there are a couple of screws to get into the device. However, there is no fan here. Everything is passively cooled, which is sort of a good thing because it means it doesn't get really loud, but it also means that there is just absolutely no way you can do any kind of intensive task on this, even if the CPU and RAM were to allow it, because it would just thermal throttle and get too hot to the touch. Opening the laptop up, we see that 11-inch display, as well as the webcam on top and this massive bezels, which actually adds to the overall size of the device. It's a pretty ugly bezel, especially with this display. The keyboard is at least nice and big. We'll talk a little bit more about the typing experience later. And just below that, we of course get the little trackpad. This trackpad is fine, it's absolutely too small, like it's a tiny trackpad. It does have multi-touch at least, so that's something it has going for it, but the click points are in the very bottom left and very bottom right, so you can only really click those two spots. You can't click in the middle of the trackpad, and that just feels weird. There's no indication that that would be the case. So in terms of specs, we are rocking the Intel Celeron N4020 processor. That is a 1.1 GHz processor. Sure, it's dual core and it has the 4 MB of cache that most CPUs do of this generation, but at 1.1 GHz, this thing is not going to run very fast and it's going to struggle. I'm actually not sure this even meets minimum spec for Windows 11. It does come with 4 GB of LPDDR4 RAM, which is nice. I was actually expecting something slightly slower than DDR4 RAM. I'm not entirely sure on the speed, but if I find out, I'll put it somewhere on screen. We get 64 GB of eMMC integrated memory. This is actually about 30 GB once you've got the Windows installed and everything else. It leaves you very little space, so thank God you've got that cloud backup and that microSD card slot as well for storage. Ironically, that microSD card slot is probably also faster than the eMMC memory, but you have it there if you need it. It is worth noting here that these specs are not user upgradable. There is technically a few ports left over for the RAM, but they're actually soldered to the motherboard, so you'd have to actually source the exact same chips and solder them to the motherboard. Powering the device on for the first time though, I did notice something that I really didn't like, and that was the keyboard. It's kind of like typing on mashed potato. It is disgusting. Basically, as you type, your finger goes through the chassis. You can see the whole thing kind of bending inwards. It's muddy, it's an awful typing experience. If you're gonna be using this to type longer essays or lots and lots of emails, then you might want to look at a different style of keyboard. Once it was all set up, I was actually pleasantly surprised by the Windows 11 build that was on here. It was fairly recent and had most of the security updates, and there was basically no bloatware. There wasn't even an antivirus pre-installed on here, which I really appreciate. Well done, Geo, for that one. This is Windows 11 in S mode, which means that it runs slightly better on this kind of hardware, but it does mean that you can't just install any exe on the internet. You have to actually install everything through the Microsoft Store. This is kind of like a gated community. It makes for better security and better performance overall. If you do want to leave S mode and install your own EXEs, then you can do so. You just do it through the Microsoft Store like you normally would. So with that low power CPU and lack thereof RAM, what's this device actually for? What about gaming? Well, no, not really. This cannot game. I even tried running OG Minecraft, and though it sort of did it, it was not a very nice experience. It was still pretty slow and clunky. So what about office work? Well, obviously you've got the Office 365 suite here. Windows, PowerPoint, Excel, all of those work fine. However, when you have more than one thing running at a time, so maybe Word and Spotify, things really slow down to a chug. And it's sad, it really is. Even web browsing, it was noticeably slow when loading these web pages. So if you're just going to be using Word or PowerPoint or Excel, then this may well just be enough for you. It's a pretty good experience when using Word on its own, but just don't try and multitask on it. Having Windows 11 on this device is kind of like having a Ferrari chassis but putting a Ford Ka motor in it. It might look really nice, but it runs like absolute shit. Okay, maybe this is a media device then. Well, no, absolutely not, because this screen is one of the worst that I've seen. It's a TN panel coming in at around 720p with some of the worst viewing angles and colouring I've ever seen. Honestly, if you're not looking at this thing straight on, colours are washed out and just awful. At least the speakers are okay in this device. They are good enough for things like video conferencing or listening to podcasts, but there is a real lack of bass and clarity from the audio overall. So at least you'll be able to hear people on a video call. But let's talk about video calls, because that webcam is also terrible. It's under 1 megapixel and you can really tell. I'll show you some video footage of it in action here. It looks awful. It just is not a good experience. Go and get yourself another webcam if you're planning on doing a lot of video calls with this device. Interestingly as well, there's no LED indicator to note that the webcam is actually on. This is really weird. Like, normally with webcams you'd have a way of noting whether it's powered on and recording, but with this one there just isn't, so you never know if someone's spying on you. So let's talk about battery life then. Maybe that can be the saving grace for this device. No. 2.5 hours. That's how long it takes to charge from 0 to 100%. And that is with that barrel charger. It is slow. And ironically, it doesn't even last that long when it's at 100%. When you're doing things like watching YouTube, listening to music, this thing dies super quickly, and basically you just have to run with this plugged in 24/7 if you want any kind of battery life out of it. I guess it is kind of sad though that a lot of people will look at a machine like this and go, this is perfect. This will be perfect for my son or my daughter, but it really isn't. You see, there's a threshold for when laptops and desktops become good, and that's around the £300 mark. At this price point, you're getting a machine that is okay, it will do everyday tasks without a hitch, and you also get the good hardware to go alongside it. This machine is well under that threshold and it shows. I really don't recommend anyone go out and buy one of these machines because they are practically e-waste. So this does beg the question, who is this actually for? Well, I have a working theory with that one. I think this machine is underpowered for Windows 11. However, if we were to take a better operating system for this hardware, we might get a better experience out of it. Take away that Ferrari chassis and bring in a Ford KA chassis. Let's call it Chrome OS Flex. Keeping with that KA motor, you're at least getting a similar experience across the two. It would be perfect for office work or for school work with that operating system. Obviously, the hardware is still going to be a problem. Switching the OS doesn't fix that terrible keyboard, that awful screen, the terrible webcam, and all of these other hardware problems. But it does at least allow the machine to be usable for certain tasks. So there we have it, guys. Would you be interested in a video of me running Chrome OS on this device and seeing just how well it runs? Why don't you let me know in the comments section down below, and of course while you're down there as well, get subscribed, hit that like button, do all of that good stuff because it does help me out a ton. Anyway guys, my name's been Robert, this has been Clue, and I will catch you in the next one. Adios.